My name to be used to change the Piarco Air Station into the Ulrich Cross Air Station. From the group captain in charge of the Air Guard. And I said I'd be happy to do it. And so I was there. I didn't realize it would take 5 hours to do it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Just end it. It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. So go ahead.
So I picked up at 11.
So he's going to head downstairs.
Right. I'm going to leave my number and information here. I told your daughter I'll leave it with you.
Oh, where is this?
It's on the back. That's the name of the company, yes.
What's the name of the company?
Caribbeat.
Caribbeat.
Yeah, and my name is Luis Matsui.
Caribbeat.
Yeah.
So
what we're doing training. We're working with the Lockjack Graduate School of Business.
Oh, I see that sort of training. You're not not training police to do police work.
No. But I tell you what, they'll be doing a better job.
Well, I can tell you.
I sympathize with them.
I just don't know how we go. First, the two things they have to do with the police. First, recruitment policy. That's the first thing you have to change.
Yeah, you have to
recruitment policy.
I always say that, yeah.
Now, one of the senior police officers, this is very interesting. I was going to pay my insurance policy at Colorado. I parked my car and I saw a police sergeant with a clipboard on the pavement, just there. I said, Sergeant, I can ask you, is it okay if I park my car here? She said, how long are you going to be? I said, I'm just going up to Carl Hudson Phillips's chambers to pay for tickets for the lawyers' annual Law Association dinner, and I reckon I will not be more than 4 minutes. I've already made out my check and he has got the tickets on his desk. So I run up, he said, right, fine, park the car. So I rushed up, I came back in 3 minutes, 20 seconds. No car. Policeman still there.
Don't tell me they stole your car.
No, he didn't. So I said, Sergeant, where's my car? He said, oh my God, I must have turned my head and they would have moved it. So I am now, there's not much I can do. The car is in there, I have to go to the pound to collect it. So I'm arguing with her, you told me I could park there. I told you I would not be more than 4 minutes. I would 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Senior police officer in khaki, and obviously he's very senior, came across and he said, recognized me. He said, Judge, what's the problem? I said, the sergeant will explain to you exactly what happened. The sergeant told him precisely what happened. He told me, yes, I can park there. And I went upstairs, I said I wouldn't be more than 4 minutes. He said, I don't know how long he was. Somebody there?
No, the bird got in.
A bird got in.
Yeah. Do they often get in?
Yes. Sometimes they think they can get in and they hit themselves.
Something happens, break their necks on them.
So the police, very senior police officer said, okay, come in my car and let's go and collect your car from the pound. So I got into his car and I said, I'm going to ask you the question I ask every policeman I ever meet. What can we do about the police service? And he said, I will probably give you the same answer. We can do nothing about the police service. We are recruiting policemen from the same group that the gangsters are recruiting gangsters.
Oh my goodness.
He said every policeman has an uncle, a brother, a father, a mother or something who's a gangster. Every policeman.
And it's reflecting, just recently I was telling Gabriel, I just saw a soldier was charged with rape, another one with a hold up. So it's in the whole system.
There is nothing you can do. You change your recruitment policy and be training. Because some of the people there can't be trained.
That's correct. And they're really working, they have great positions because they have gang mentality in a position of authority. I know. No,
but there are some things that really make you despair. $94,000 US was stolen from a police station about 2.5 years ago. after, yes, I think Phillip was Commissioner of Police. 2 years after that money was stolen and never recovered from a police station exhibit room. $94,000 US, never recovered. Mr. Philbert, I was acting, he was Commissioner of Police, got on the television 2 years after that money was stolen. When asked by a reporter question, what happened, where's that, you got the money back? Investigations are continuing.
That is
I couldn't believe it. 2 years after, $94,000 stolen from a police station exhibit room. And what about the St. Joseph Police with all that guns and ammunition? Never, nobody has ever been discovered who put that thing in a police station.
It's amazing.
It is quite amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So Judge Cross, why do you believe we're seeing such a fundamental breakdown in law and order?
I think exactly what the senior policeman told me. That the police and the gangsters are recruiting from precisely the same pool.
Yes, yes. So Judge Cross, after 2 years and our visit in Washington, it was June 19th. So actually Sunday will be 2 years since we last met.
Yes, indeed.
June 19th.
Yes, indeed.
Well, actually you came in a few days earlier. I think you came in on the 18th or the 17th. You came in a few nights before the event.
Before the accident.
Yourself and Dudley.
And Dudley. And
Yes,
I spoke to Dudley a couple of nights ago.
Yes, yes, yes.
As you know.
Well, I sent a clip of that interview to Nicola so she can listen to it. And you know, you were very strong, but later when I listened to the clip, I noticed, I think it may have been you or it may have been Dudley, somebody's breathing was a little labored. So I'm not too sure who it was because you're both on the line.
Yeah, Dudley will be 95 in January.
Yes.
I'll be 95, it doesn't matter that.
Yes.
I'll be 95 on the 1st of May next year if I'm alive.
Well, we intend for you to be, because you're a gem. And I wanted to just maybe, you know, tell you what it means for us. I believe that you are not only one of the last of the airmen, but a distinguished airman who, after the war, engaged in law and diplomacy to the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean. And what was my thought earlier? If I'm interviewed on television here or radio, I will say that every Trinidadian boy and girl and every West Indian needs to know the history of their people, the noble heritage of their people, in order to have a purposeful life. That if you believe you come from nothing, then you will be nothing. But if you know that among you have risen up great men and women who have done great things, then that may be a guide. Your thoughts?
Well, I can't say, I don't know why people think we came from nothing. I don't consider that I came from nothing. I can consider that on my wall there is a picture painted by my very first pilot.
Yes.
The one who I did my first tour with, and he elected, as he was entitled to do, at the end of the first tour he said, I need a rest. We had 7 crashes during my first tour, and he took a rest. And I said, well, I don't feel I need a rest, so I will continue. And I continued to do 80 operational flights over occupied Europe and Germany. And I went on to do 80 without taking a rest. I was posted with 50, refused to go, had a long argument with the group captain, senior air staff officer at Pathfinder Force.
What was his name?
Group Captain Hamish Mahadi.
I see.
Who had, I know he had an AFC, and I knew he had a DFC, and I knew he had a DSO. And eventually it was a New Zealand pilot, not my pilot, and I who went to get him to cancel the posting because we did not want to leave the squadron. And he, after a long argument, to the New Zealand pilot, Jackie, I remember his name very well, and he said, all right, you want to kill yourself, go ahead. I will cancel the posting, you can go ahead with the squadron. We had both done 50 without arrest. And we told him thanks and left him, went back to the station, told our squadron commander that his posting was cancelled, we'll continue. And I continued to do 30 more. Jack Hay, his next flight was his 51st flight, he was shot down and killed.
Amazing. How many pilots in all did you have, Just Cross?
3 main pilots.
And they were?
First one was English, Roy Crampton. Second one
Was that Roy Crampton?
Crampton,
First
who
name?
painted that picture
Yeah, I see.
and gave it to me after the war,
I see.
long after the war. And the second one was a Scotsman, Jock, can't remember. And the third one was a New Zealander. All 3 are now dead. Jock died last year. And
Do you remember Jock's full name? It'll come back to you if you can.
yeah, it'll come back to me. But
And the third one was New Zealand.
third one was David Tudhope, a New Zealander.
Tudlope?
Tudhope.
Okay.
His wife rang me when he died to tell me that he had died. But I saw him in New Zealand. I was at the time chairman of the Commonwealth Foundation in London, and we had financed a law conference in the Pacific. And I went out to ask chairman of the Commonwealth Foundation who would finance it to show the flag. And I paid a visit to New Zealand while I was in the Pacific and to Singapore. And I stayed with an old friend of mine in New Zealand. He was a Canadian High Commissioner in New Zealand at the time, and I stayed with him. And Jock died, well, then I saw Jock again when there was a celebration of, I can't remember now, it may have been 1995. 1995 I think it was, because it was a celebration of the 50 years of the end of the war from 1945. And
I think you were selected to represent the ex-servicemen from Trinidad, weren't you?
Yes. And Dave Turtle was representing New Zealand.
Wonderful.
And we met.
And both of you being from 139 Squadron, Bomber Command.
139, that's right. He
Are
was
you-
my last pilot.
How many people are left from 139?
Well, I have no idea. I don't know if the squadron is still in existence.
All the people from your time you think may have gone?
Well, I went to Pathfinder Sunday last year. I don't think I'll be going this year. Oh, it's the middle of August. I'm not moving very well these days. After all, I'm 94.
Yes.
And so I think it's unlikely. And I had to go to England this year for my granddaughter's wedding, which was on the 9th of April this year. I went and I had rather unfortunate seizure. Fortunately, it was not too difficult one.
What do they consider it to have been? A little fainting spell, or was it
They think it was a seizure,
a stroke?
a stroke, basically.
Yes.
And I had seen Ellis Clark die from that
Yes.
in December,
Yes.
because he was 93 on the 28th of December last year, and I was 93 on the 1st of May last year, and I went to see him. He had had 2 serious strokes, and he was more or less comatose when I saw him.
Yes.
He was 93 on the 28th of December, which was his birthday, and I saw him the next day because his son rang me and told me I could come and see him then.
Yes.
Hello? Hello? Come in. Come in.
I don't think there's a matter.
Oh.
But
And he died the next day.
Yes.
Died on the 30th of December. Excuse me.
Just Cross, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your early life. I know you were born on May 1st, 1917. Were you born?
And I will tell you, I've never seen a dinosaur. They were already extinct.
That's what you call classic Phillip Louis Oliver Cross humor. It's an infectious humor. It's a great humor, and I appreciate it very much. But no, you've held up very well. And your mother's name was?
Maud Iris Williams was her birth name, but she married my father, who was a Cross.
And your father's name?
My father's name was Reginald Rufus Cross.
Yes. And what was your father's occupation?
My father was a clerk in the civil service.
I see. How far did he go in school?
Well, I know he went to... There seems to be a mystery about why he was at St. Mary's College, and I know he was also at QRC.
I see.
There is a mystery as to why he left St. Mary's College. The family tradition is that he was expelled for punching a priest. Whether that was true or not, I have no idea.
Yes, indeed. And your parents were both from Port of Spain?
Yes, yes.
Yes. And your mother, what was her profession, if any?
Middle-class women in those days had no profession. She had 9 children.
And that was a profession enough, the best profession it was.
I would think so.
Yes, indeed. And give us the names of
She played the piano.
Oh, well, that was nice. Give us the names of the children, George Cross.
Children? I'm trying to remember the names of my siblings. Urban was the eldest one. He's no longer with us. Then I was second. And Dolly was the third. She's in a nursing home now. She's 1 year younger than I. And I was the third. And who was the fourth? I think Baba was the fourth. Then...
Baba, B-A-R-B-E-R.
No, B-A-B-A.
Okay.
His Christian name was Thomas Ambrose Cross.
I see.
But we always called him Baba. I don't know why. And then there was Tiny, who was christened Gerard Ultimus, because my father, for some strange reason, thought he was going to be the last child. So he was christened